Have you ever been in that awkward place where it seems like, oh no, it seems like time is moving fast and standing still all at the same time? Yeah, that would be today for me. I was talking to my mom earlier, and she was just saying that, something is just wrong. It just feels like off of balance in the world right now. And a lot of it has to do with that construct that we refer to as time. I don't know. Time and its spaces and its dimensions are just so weird. Last week, around this same exact time, I was at the Chicago Printers Row Lit Fest speaking and doing a book signing. And I thought that I was sitting on top of the world. Today, I literally had to walk out of my house and start walking. Initially, with no destination, I decided I would go walk to the nail shop. But I'm walking because in a short amount of time, last Saturday, I was sitting on top of the world. This Saturday, I'm mourning the loss of my aunt. And it's just kind of weird that from one week to the next, that time would just move in that way that, they let them by. That time would just move in that way that one day you're sitting on top of the world, next day you're grieving. And so I had to ask myself this question, because the weirdest thing is, because I wrote a book about things that happened where I was grieving, I was overcoming fear. People get uncomfortable when I'm vulnerable. But today is just one of those days I feel like being vulnerable. And I'm not concerned about other people being uncomfortable. We have to learn to cope in various spaces and just deal with what is going on and understand that it's really okay to be overwhelmed for a minute. It's okay to be frustrated for a minute. But more importantly, it's okay to grieve. And just because people are that proverbial strong does not mean that they don't have tear ducts. I find that word strong kind of offensive. People are always saying black women specifically. I can say that because I'm a black woman. And in my experience, people say black women are so strong. As women, we were not made to be strong. God pulled us out of Adam's side to help. And we hold up so much. And at some point, it gets draining. It gets tiring. It gets exhausting. No matter how well you've really learned to cope with it. And so, what is being strong? Generally, when we're being strong, that definition given to us by society, We're holding in our feelings. Um, People are asking us if we're okay. And we smile and we're like, yes, I'm okay. We are really not okay. And it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to let people know that you are hurting. It's okay to be momentarily afraid. I know God has not given us the spirit of fear. However, many times we are walking through the valley of the shadow of death. And the only reason that we're walking, and we still have some fear in us, but we keep on walking, is because we know that God is with us. And understanding that we can push through the hurt, the pain, the uncertainty, even if we don't know what's going to happen next. Over a very short period of time, 2 years, my mom has gone from being the middle child, the fifth child out of 9 children, to being the oldest child living. And she is afraid because though death is, a debt we all have to pay, she has seen 4 of her sisters go before her. And she's not that old. She's only 77. And it still concerns her. What happens when we're put in a position that we don't ask for? What happens when we realize that that construct we call time at some point runs out? I'm going to tell you the truth, what happened for me. I was sitting on top of the world. I had someone running my ads for me. Last week I was practicing my speech, calling it my TED Talk, and just joking and seeing life as I had envisioned it actually coming to fruition. Tuesday morning, my mom called me and she told me that they found my aunt non-responsive, and time immediately changed for me because I was chosen to tell my cousins that they needed to get to their mom's house as soon as possible. I don't know why God chose me, but that was my assignment. Since that time, I've been kind of frozen. That stuck that God has given me the gift to get people out of. Whew. I've been stuck like somebody had glued my feet to the floor with crazy glue, gorilla glue, whatever. However, today I got up, jumped in the shower. Initially, I thought I was going to clean up, move around, do some things. Sat at the table with pen and paper in my hand and couldn't move. Got up, got in the shower, put on something I didn't need to iron, and now I'm walking to go get my nails done and get some of this hair off my face because I look like a dude with this mustache. But, understanding that life paralyzes you sometimes. Life happens. And we're living in a world now where life is just straight up life. And one of my concerns about doing lives is the fear of what's going to come out my mouth. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I feel as though we are living in a world where women are not being loved on in the manner that they should be. Just in their homes, but in society, especially in this country that we're living in. Especially if you happen.
Keep going now. Where does it turn to spider webs?
Thank you. I've walked through about 10. It's okay. Now, thank you. One of my neighbors let me know that because of the high rain in Chicago, you're just walking down the street and the spider webs are getting you. But anyway, being a black woman in this country comes with a high rate of difficulty because we're strong and supposedly we're given the weight of what seems like the world. I can say that having worked for state government, having been disrespected, passed up for jobs, given a job without the title or the pay, having interviewed well, and having people who sat in on the interviews to tell me that, oh, that should have been your job, however, politics. And then walking away, recognizing my worth, and walking away, understanding, again, that construct we call time, and becoming tired of waiting on someone to see you. At some point, it is up to us to see ourselves, to understand that if we're not able to recognize who we are, if we're not able to look in the mirror and ask ourselves that question, do you see you? If we do that and we start crying, like I have done, if we do that and we don't recognize ourselves outside of what our mama thinks about us, what our husband thinks about us, what our job thinks about us, then what is the point? Who are we really living for? Tuesday, when my mom called me and let me know that my aunt would no longer be gracing our presence in this world. She would no longer be stopping by my house randomly while I was working to give my dog, Safi, a whole roasted chicken. I realized that we know not the hour or the day, and we're not supposed to. If we knew when we were gonna leave here, well, that can be a blessing and a curse. But if we really knew, I think that some of us would move a little faster. Some of us would get things done that we were discontent our situation and not really thinking about at the moment, even though those are the things that we have had that vision. Our Creator has spoken to us, but we don't even know how to attain those things because we don't know who we are. If we knew who we are, we'd know that we had the tools to complete whatever those things were that were assigned for us to do before we left here. But when we don't know who we are and we don't know whose we are, we tend to procrastinate, putting off tomorrow what we can do today with the assumption that we're going to be here tomorrow. Time is not promised. You know, I pray that God gives me time to complete my assignment because I'm standing right in the middle of what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not quite finished yet. And when I got out of my door this morning, I realized Pauline's time, Auntie Pauline's time is not intertwined with mine. I love her dearly. I've known her my whole life. So many lessons she taught me, especially during COVID when she came over my house almost every day. She actually gave me COVID, but it's okay because we survived. But she didn't have anybody that was close to her. So she came over my house every day for 3 years. And we became even closer. And one part of my mind could grieve and, stay stuck. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? But her time and my time are not intertwined. God called her spirit home and left her messages here. And now I know that I need to get up. I have things to do. I have missions to complete. And I have an obligation to let people know that regardless of what happens in life, take a minute to grieve, regardless of what you lost. Recalculate, release anxiety by examining fear, and to continue living life, understanding that, thank you, time waits on no man, no woman, no person, no animal. Time waits on no one. Time is not promised. Time actually comes with restraints. Urging people to stop taking advantage of time. When you start to abuse time, in a sense, it's an abomination because you really lack trust. And you take advantage of a situation, not understanding that to everything there is a season. And your season comes and it goes. and you miss it because you thought you had time. I'm going to keep walking into my season. Seasons also come with alignment to show you that God is walking with you, as there are fowlers and snares and fire all around you. I'm going to keep on walking. It looks like there's some folk on here. Y'all know I have a visual impairment and I can't see. Let me stop for a second. I can't see what these are saying. But thank you all for tuning in. Lesson to take from this: time doesn't wait. If there's something pressing in your heart to do, get it done. I love y'all. Bye-bye.